Hey guys, Zabu here, back in with another action figure review, and today we will be concluding the Marvel Legends Zabu Build-A-Figure Way with not only not He-Man, not Conan, but Ka-Zar. We'll also be taking a look at the Build-A-Figure in question himself, Zabu, because these guys are very much like He-Man and Battle Cat. They are peas in a pod, they are two of a kind, they are a dynamic duo in their own right, and it would be blasphemous to review one without the other. That and X-Mani originally did this, and I'm kind of sort of stealing his ideal, so shout out to him for that. That said, this is of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, since we do have two figures to talk about here, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the accessories they have to offer. Mostly Ka-Zar because, well, I guess Zabu's accessories are all the other figures in the wave, which we've already looked at on the channel. So, as far as Ka-Zar's accessories go, for Marvel Legends, he's actually pretty loaded. He's got a pair of fists, as well as a pair of, I'm going to call them Wild Man hands. Doing a bit of a claw pose there. Then we also get, I forget what this is made out of, but we get this little knife here. If you want, you can take Ka-Zar and store this little knife on his butt. Like so. Slide it right in there. That's what she said. And set him back down. That said, we also get this spear. So you can skewer all of his enemies and use that knife to scalp them. That said, that is it for Ka-Zar's accessories. No alternate head or anything like that. But, you know, for a Marvel Legends, that's a decent spread. 2 weapons, 3 sets of hands, including the ones on him, of course. That's not too bad. So, before we take a look at, for lack of a better term, the star of the show here, Ka-Zar. Yeah, he's pretty much Marvel's version of He-Man, although he predates He-Man by quite a bit. I don't think he predates Conan, though. I think Conan was like the 1930s, early 40s. This guy was late 40s or the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing to note, he is on the Vulcan body buck. He does have a new torso with nipples. He's got a new diaper piece, new boots, new head, of course. Not sure if any of the hands are new. Maybe the pegs to compensate for being on this body, but we've seen this body before. It's nothing new, but he does have some new parts going on. That said, one thing to note, because he is on the Vulcan body, he's got the glove cuff sculpt here. The glove seam there, and that's a bit of an eyesore to some people. It doesn't bug me too much, but what I did do is I dug up some of my Articulated Icons ninja figures and stole their wrist wraps, and these wrist wraps do fit right over these arms. It's a tight fit. You're gonna have to really force it on, but once you do that, can cover that seam. And the wrists are a little tighter with the extra plastic from these wrist wraps as well. So, you know, just a little something to spruce up here, Ka-Zar. I do intend on giving him one of the, well, Kraven the Hunter came with it first, but I think a Black Panther came with it later. The little tooth necklace as well. So I think that'll help tie things together. That said, why don't we just put this other wrist wrap on. Shout out to my good buddy Evil Villain for hooking up those Articulated Icons ninjas. Otherwise I wouldn't have these wrist wraps to use. There you go. But there, looks pretty good now. I believe these are black in color. They kind of match his boots, which are dark brown. Same with this diaper there, but I am sending my good buddy Evil Villain a pair of white ones. I think the only ones I have left are red, so kind of SOL there. But either way, as far as articulation goes, he's got a disc hinge in the head, so you can look down. Can't look up too far because of his hair, but he can look up a little bit. He's He's got a swivel, he's got some tilt, and he can look up and down on the ball itself. Shoulders go out to the side. He does have that butterfly joint that the Vulcan body is known for. Goes forward and back, and kind of hear it clicking into place. He does have full 360 in the shoulder. Swivel in the bicep, which mine are pretty loose now. They were tighter before, but I used a little bit of soap to lubricate, for lack of a better term, the joint, because they were a little gummy out of package. Double elbow, not the tightest thing, especially on the left side, but it's okay. He does have a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. He also has an ab crunch that goes this far forward and this far back. Looks kind of horrible, not gonna lie. They should have continued the sculpt so he didn't look pregnant, but whatever. Waist twist. A little hindered by the belt there. Wow, I didn't think it was that hindered, but there you go. Hips kick out, down, forward, hindered by the diaper. But if you heat this thing, I'm sure you could get it to flex out of the way a little better. Back, not so much. Thigh cut all the way around. A little gummy on the thigh cut, but not enough to where I feel the need to pop it apart and all that. Double knee, nice tight double knee. And a boot cut, which again was gummy on mine. So I heated them up, popped them off, lubricated them with a little bit of soap, for lack of a better term, and now they're alright. Then he does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker. And he does have very He-Man looking boots. I will say this boot is still kind of tight, but it's a lot easier to move now than it was. That said, that is Ka-Zar in a nutshell. He's a half-naked guy with long blonde hair. Kind of looks like He-Man, but predates He-Man, so he's not a ripoff. There you go. Out of the way, sucker, because we are looking at this Toyga now. This is Zabu. He raised, that's right, raised Ka-Zar. That's some Jungle Book BS if I ever heard any. Only difference is he's not a wolf, he's a Toyga. And I gotta say, it looks like the Legends team's taking some cues from the G.I. Joe Classified team as far as how this guy is articulated, because he's built like the same way as the G.I. Joe Classified Timber, and even more so, he's built just like the NECA Toys American Werewolf in London figure, the Kessler Wolf. So as far as his articulation goes, he's got a double ball peg in the head, can look up and down, he's got a hinged jaw, you can get some fierce roaring poses there, he's got a swivel there. The neck can hinge down about that far. And then back up. It's very stiff on mine, but I'm sure you could heat that up and make it work better. It does rotate there at the base as well. So that's cool. It's got a diaphragm joint, which gives you all kinds of range. You can crunch it that far forward, that far back. It does tilt side to side and rotate. The front legs can kick forward and back. They can kick out about that far. Not too bad. You get a little bit of a bicep twist up there because it is a ball socket. He's got a single elbow. Is that what you want to call that? And then he does have rotation. Same thing with the paws in the front. He's got the rocker with a hinge. So basically the invert of this joint. So that's cool. Then as far as the hind legs go, actually, the tail is on a disc hinge as well, so you can hinge it up and down and rotate it. But the back legs will hinge out to the side, back down. Get a little bit, again, thigh cut in there. The knee will bend back and forth, as well as a swivel here. Then the back knee will hinge back and forth with a swivel here. And then the back foot will hinge up and down with a rocker. I don't think he's got peg holes, but he didn't need them. He got 4 legs. If you can't stand a figure with 4 legs, something wrong with you. But very nice looking figure, man. I love the way this guy came out. And until that pretty awesome looking Blackheart comes out, this is my Build-A-Figure of the year. So, you know, if Blackheart gets delayed for some reason, this guy will be BAF of the year. But if not, well then, sorry Charlie, but I'm a Ghost Rider fan before an X-Men fan. I don't care if you hate me. That's about it. Closer look at the head sculpt. Again, looks pretty fierce. He's got his sharp teeth there. But setting him back up. We're not going to dwell on size comparisons on this video. Just because you can see how a regular Legends size figure like Ka-Zar, regular size Legends figure I should say, like Ka-Zar stacks up against old Tigger there. I know his name is Zabu. Maybe it's Zabumba Q. And yeah, he is not the biggest BAF, but he's not small. Like, they couldn't sell this guy for 20 bucks, I don't think. Maybe not even 30. But bringing in our two regulars, we got the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibulith right here. And the infamous 11 Spawn right here. And I know he's being shoved off screen just a little bit. Move the camera up. There you go. As you can see, if you wanted to, you definitely mix Zabu in with your Mythic Legions. That is pretty sweet. And I can see a lot of Mythic Legions guys picking this guy up just for that. But, you know, as usual, good old Al Simmons towers over everyone because he's a 7.5 inch figure. I mean, heck, he was taller than that She-Hulk we looked at a week ago. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and as far as a not He-Man, not Conan figure goes, Ka-Zar's alright. I mean, it is essentially just the Vulcan body butt with some new parts here and there, but for a Marvel Legends anyways, he's not too bad, not too shabby, if I do say so myself, but someone who's better than not too shabby is definitely the Zabu Build-A-Figure. By far the star of this wave and of this review, because the fine folks over at Hasbro definitely gave a crap when they designed, developed, and engineered this thing, because on top of the fact that it gives me NECA, American Werewolf, and London vibes, as far as the articulation scheme goes, I mean, it is literally articulated dang near the same way as that figure, which I find kind of hilarious. It is a step in the right direction for the Marvel Legends line. This is something different, something we haven't seen before. We don't get a lot of creatures from Marvel Legends. We mostly get them from G.I. Joe Classified. And I am open to getting more creatures in the future. That said, speaking of things we should get in the future, I hope they don't make us wait too long to get Shauna the She-Devil to complete the trio we have going here. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.